This is what concerns firefighters the most. This old, dry brush that could easily burn out of control. People of all ages came out for the hot dog ride today, and learning how to snowmobile is easy. You just have the brake, the kill switch if you get into trouble, and the gas. According to the Department of Public Safety, one person in the U.S. dies every hour from not putting on their seatbelt. It was here in the 100 block of East Liberty Street where several cars were broken into Monday, and police say the suspect would just walk up to a car, try the handle, getting into about 50% of the cars they tried, a growing problem here in Rapid City. The owners did a quick 72-hour renovation of the place, putting $10,000 out of their $700,000 budget into it, holds the world record for the largest collection of teddy bears, and every bear in the collection is labeled with who it's from and where. It's another cold and chilly morning out here. The road conditions are still slick and it is a little bit slippery out here. Well, tonight was a big win for the gossiped Oscar frontrunner American Hustle. Well, 9 student groups at the School of Mines are joining in with hundreds of thousands of Americans across the country in a national day of service in the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. with a new kids website, allowing safe and easy browsing of children's ebooks and audiobooks. As we go this way, the trees right over here, the Potter family we have singing all evening as the holiday shopping season is kicking off, and stores across the country are offering thousands of new jobs this holiday season. Good evening, Shad. Yes, that's right. It hasn't been so much of a policy change, but more mirroring what the Sioux Falls district has done. Take a look. The Pledge of Allegiance. A simple act has caused a controversy among the community for the past month. It's the question of whether or not to have the pledge in classrooms in the Rapid City School District after Sioux Falls changed its policy. The problem is that Rapid City doesn't have a policy, causing confusion and creating a bigger controversy through misunderstanding.
We didn't have a policy, but it was being done in most of our classrooms by most of our teachers and most of our students anyway. And now we're just asking that practice to be all of our teachers, all of our students, except those who want to respectfully decline from doing the pledge on a daily basis.
Tuesday, the Associated School Boards of South Dakota passed a resolution that they supported all school kids doing the pledge on a daily basis. And the criticism comes when the policy is different between the Rapid City and Sioux Falls school districts. Since Rapid City does not have a policy, no board action is needed.
The impact of what has happened over the last couple of days is Rapid City and Sioux Falls School District are both doing the same thing. Sioux Falls is directed by school board policy. In Rapid City, there is no policy in place. We're just doing it as a practice.
The Pledge of Allegiance will now be carried out in Rapid City schools K through 12, and students have a wide opinion about having it.
I think it's a noble idea that we want to respect what's been done for us and our government, but I don't think you can force people to honor it or to respect it.
It's a good idea for students to say the Pledge of Allegiance because it's a sign of respect towards your country.
Today, when we stood up and did the pledge, everyone stood up, everyone said under God, and everyone sat back down, and it was not a big deal, and class continued as usual.
And the next step, policy development. This takes a minimum of 3 meeting cycles, a month and a half before it can be adapted and implemented.
The board needs to take a look at, do we pass a policy that requires this just as we have in Sioux Falls, or are they still comfortable with the fact that through administrative guidance, buildings have already just accepted that we're going to do the same practice that is being discussed across the state.
Although the pledge is in all grades, Dr. Mitchell stresses that this is not a compliant act, but something patriotic, and people can decline to do it. 7 days and 400 miles, a spiritual journey that changes the lives of many young Native Americans.
Or 400 miles, but it's nothing because we know that our people went there. And as we come through South Dakota, we meet our allies and people that took us in and realize how close we are with one another.
This is the 18th annual Fort Robinson Outbreak Spiritual Run. But founder Lynette Tubul says it's so much more.
Today, the run has grown to be so much more than just remembering and paying tribute to our ancestors. It's about learning the history. It's about understanding, feeling, connecting to what happened there. But because of the sacrifice of the ancestors, our young people have life today.
A rite of passage for the youth.
And it's just such a powerful transformation that the kids go through the 400 miles.
They reenact the outbreak of their ancestors.
The place where we started where we broke out from, you know, the emotion there was amazing.
The original barracks were rebuilt on the same location, but this time they're running towards their future instead of away from gunshots.
And I think by us doing this and continuing to do it every year, it's making our people more powerful, and it's empowering our youth to learn about their culture, but to also internalize it.
Just now, seeing the impact the run has on the community.
And the longer I've been here, the longer I've been learning my language and our ceremonial ways. I never did know about most of this stuff. This is my first time, and it won't be the last.
Stephanie Kaiser, News Center 1.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Good.
The meals I get from you guys are absolutely stupendous.
The Rapid City Meals on Wheels program delivers approximately 175 meals to homebound seniors Monday through Friday. And going into the new year, they desperately need volunteers.
Right now is a crucial time for the meals program because we need donations and we need more volunteers.
Mayor needs 15 volunteers a day, and each delivery route takes about an hour.
The best part about the meals program is the participants. You know, it's a win-win situation. A lot of our seniors, we're the only contact that they have, so it's best for our volunteers to go out and check on them.
And for many, it's so much more than a meal.
We not only bring friendship, companionship, the meal, but sometimes, like in Hugh's case, we save their lives.
Hugh Brower has experienced this firsthand. A volunteer came just minutes after having a stroke and saved his life.
I'm really not sure how it all happened, but she came in with the food, saw me in a comatose state. She called 911, and the paramedics got here, and they took me to the hospital, and apparently I had a small stroke. But had I not been able to go to the hospital, I'd be in a morgue. So the volunteer that did that for me was, oh, that's great.
Although unresponsive, Brower says he could hear her saying it's going to be okay, and that's what you can expect from the program.
Yeah, it's a lot more to the meal. They come in and they joke around with you a little bit. They make sure you're okay, and they bring a little smile, and that's good. Because when you live alone, there's nobody here, and somebody knocks on the door and comes in and smiles, that means an awful lot.
Something he can count on every day. Stephanie Kaiser, News Center 1. Looking around the Black Hills National Forest, you can see the devastation that the pine beetle has caused. U.S. Forest Service managers say the best way to face the problem is tree thinning, a completely preventative measure.
I would say in the stands that we didn't thin, we're having a high mortality rate. In the stands that we did thin, we might be losing about 10%.
Cutting down trees and hauling them to sawmills, the only way that completely removes the pine beetles.
Beetles like a closed-in, tight canopy, dense stand, and when we open this up, the wind blows through it, the temperature changes, and it makes it less likely that the beetles will be able to have successful attack in here.
The area being thinned Tuesday is part of a timber sale. By thinning off of Sheridan Lake Road, this stops the beetles from coming in from the west side forest near Hill City.
Currently, there actually is a bug activity on the west side of the sale by 385. So we know that they're coming, and so we're trying to get in to reduce the number of trees per acre and reduce the number of trees that might possibly be hit.
Thinning is a natural process. Workers leave the strongest and tallest trees along with new growth, keeping the forest healthy.
I've been logging for 33 years, and we're definitely helping curtail the bugs a little bit, but it's a uphill battle because there's so many bugs.
But by being proactive, it is slowly helping to reduce the problem. Stephanie Kaiser, News Center 1.